North, south, east, and west. For me, they all mean the same. I'm sure almost all of you have gotten lost at one point in your life, whether that be trying to navigate your way through an airport, driving, or simply trying to find your hotel room. If you're like me, well, maybe this happens a little too often. I want to talk about how often I get lost because it has become quite a problem. There are multiple reasons why I get lost a lot. Today, I'm going to explain why getting lost is such an issue for me. These reasons being that I don't pay attention to my surroundings, I'm easily distracted, and I rely on others for help too often. The first, and in my opinion, the biggest reason why I get lost a lot, is because I don't pay attention to my surroundings. The first time I realized I had a problem with getting lost so easily is when my friends and I stayed at the Ramkota in Bismarck for a school activity. Now, anyone who's ever stayed there can agree that this is a big hotel with a bunch of hallways that all look exactly the same. We had just gotten done eating and decided it would be fun to go down to the pool for a bit. I wasn't sure how long I wanted to stay there, so I grabbed a room key, left my phone behind, and figured I'd just come up to the room whenever I wanted. So, we were all down at the pool, and I decided I was ready to head back up to the room. I grabbed my key and started on the journey. I got on one of the elevators, not paying any attention to the one we used to get down to the pool, and headed up to our floor. Immediately as I got off the elevator, I began to panic, for I had no idea where to go, and if I did, I probably wouldn't find the room anyways, because I didn't even know what a room number was. I kind of began to panic after this, so I went back down and tried to get back into the pool area and wait for my friends to come up, but they had already left. I really started to panic then. I went to the front desk and told them I was lost. They asked me what room I was in, and I replied with, I'm not sure. One of the workers looked at me with a strange look and slightly giggled. He then told me there wasn't much they could do since I didn't even know my own room number. Fighting back tears, I said, okay, and decided I'd take the stairs up this time. I must have been walking around the same hallways for what seemed like forever in my swimsuit, and people definitely had to notice I was lost. One lady asked me if I needed help, and I told her no because I didn't want to look stupid. I kept walking and thinking to myself, Kaylee, you really messed up. As I was continuing to make laps around the same hallways, I heard a familiar voice. I got so excited and yelled for my friend Taylor. When I found her, she told me they started looking for me because they figured I'd gotten lost, and they were right. When we got back to the room, I told her about my struggle, and she explained to me how I needed to start paying more attention to what's going on around me. The second reason why I get lost so often is because I am easily distracted. I realize that I get distracted easily, and it has a major impact on my ability to get places, when my mom and I had to navigate our way through the Chicago airport. It was my first time flying, and my mom hadn't been to a big airport in a long time, so we had to put our knowledge together and figure out where we needed to be. My sister lives in Chicago, and she told us to call her when we land, and she would come pick us up. So, after we landed, my mom called my sister, and she told us to go to the pickup spot for cars and taxis. My mom and I grabbed our luggage, and we began on our way to the pickup door. As we started walking, my mom said to make sure to pay attention to the signs that would lead us to the right spot. I kept walking and glancing up often to make sure we were headed in the right direction. But with all the smells coming from the various places to eat, and all the noises coming from people, and the luggage being pulled along the tile floor, I got a little distracted. I told my mom that we had to keep going straight and take a left, and it would be there. I didn't even pay any attention to the sign that told us the pickup spot was down a flight of stairs, and we'd have to go downstairs to get there. My mom didn't agree with me when I said to go straight, but she followed me anyways for fear that I'd get lost. We got to what I then thought was the right spot, but soon I realized I was wrong. My mom called my sister to see exactly where she'd be picking us up at. And she told us where to go, which was down the flight of stairs labeled with a sign that I paid no attention to. The third reason why I get lost a lot is because I rely on others for help too often. I realize that I struggle with this problem, and it affects me getting places on time when my mom and I were on our way to a wedding at a country club. I was driving on interstate, and as we got closer, I wasn't sure what exit to take, and apparently neither was my mother. She quickly dialed up Adam, who was at the wedding, and he told us which one to take. As we continued on our way, Adam called my mom to inform me that I would have to take a roundabout in order to get there, being that I was new to driving and he didn't want me to be surprised by it. I told my mom that I'd need help getting through that, but my mom wasn't a great driver by any means either. We got to the roundabout, and being that it was the first one I was about to experience, I started to panic and asked my mom for help. She was just as clueless as I was. She told me she hadn't been through one of these in a long time, and to just keep going. That was the worst advice ever, because we went around that thing multiple times before we got out. To my surprise, we had gotten out correctly, and we continued on our way. We were driving for a while, and then my mom told me that Adam said to turn left at one of these stop signs, but neither of us knew what one for sure. So I turned left at the next sign, and soon we had to turn back because I realized that we were not where we needed to be. My mom called up Adam again to confirm what exact stop sign we were supposed to turn at, and he told us the second one. He said it would bring you to a little town, and you'll run into a sign that will lead you the rest of the way. I immediately grew frustrated with my mom and asked her why she didn't pay more attention to the directions. I kept going, but my mom started to complain that we were going to be late for the wedding, and I told her she should have just let me talk to Adam. We finally found the sign that led us to the country club, and we made it to the wedding. 20 minutes late. In conclusion, I get lost a lot. These reasons being that I don't pay attention to my surroundings, I'm easily distracted, and I rely on others for help too often. I encourage all of you to pay close attention to your surroundings or use a GPS when going somewhere new. It'll save you time and embarrassment.